Yes.
Motion passed unanimous.
Thank you, Annie.
She's up next
Got
again.
one more item.
Oh, that's right. Battle of the Bands, Veterans Square Commemorative Brick Project. Go ahead.
Yes. About a month ago, unfortunately, the Avon Park Breakfast Rotary disbanded.
Yep.
The Battle of the Bands was a member of that body. And we were approached by the Rotary to pick up on a project that they had been working on for quite some time, which is the commemorative brick project on Main Street on Veterans Square. We accepted that, and I went back to my board, and they definitely accepted it. I'm coming to this body now for approval to continue that project.
Since
But
it's city property, she needs.
it is city property. I do need permission to work there. And some of you are aware that the Battle of the Bands just received a $15,000 grant to create and maintain a Veterans Help Center right here in Avon Park. The funds raised from the commemorative brick project would go towards that Veterans Center, to its maintenance and upkeep. So they work hand in hand. And I'm hoping that we find a location right here in the heart of town. It's going to be a beautiful place for veterans to go. It's going to be a help and resource center with a computer bank, a clothing bank, a food bank. We have mentoring programs. I've already asked the business community to volunteer a few hours every week, lawyers, financial advisors, employment opportunities, education, to bring those services directly to our veterans, and a space big enough where if a veteran wants to start a mentoring program of their own or have veterans come in, because none of us who have not served can understand those who have completely. And sometimes they need to talk to their battle buddies. They need to talk to each other. We would be providing that space for them. And with all of these programs going on inside this building, if there is one thing we can't provide directly, I already have the promise of a vehicle to take them to the Veteran Service Office and the VA down in South Sebring. If we can't get it for them right there on the spot, we'll get them to it. But that's what our Veterans Center is going to be. And it's not going to be named after a veteran.
Okay.
To name it on one person would pigeonhole it. It's going to be called Bob's Place, Battle of the Bands Place. And it's going to be for everybody. It's going to be for all veterans.
All right. So we're talking about the permission of the brick project. So does anyone care to make a motion on that? Or do we need to have a motion for it? to allow
Well, I
her to
think because
continue
it's
the brick
city
project?
property,
It's on your property.
Yeah, your agreement right now is with the Breakfast Rotary Club, which is no more.
Right.
So we just need to have basically a new understanding that Anna Marie's group would be handling this.
Okay. So do we have a motion to approve that?
I motion that we approve the Battle of the Bands request to use the city property for the brick project.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, go ahead.
I just have one little question. Do you know how many commemorative bricks are on that location right now, the people's names?
A lot.
Approximately 80,
I don't know if there's,
82.
I don't know if there's that many.
approximately. But there's literally hundreds of spaces.
Okay,
There's plenty of room there for more.
okay.
But in go ahead.
How does one get to be a part of that?
We'll give
All
a
you
f-
have to do is fill out an app.
Fill out a form.
The bricks are laser printed and installed, and the actual ceremony where the bricks will be dedicated will be on Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th every
It has to be
year.
a veteran, that's what I was looking for.
Mhm.
So this goes on the,
It's not memorial, it's commemorative.
It-
So
honor of-
it's for
You
all
don't-
veterans.
You don't have to
That's
be
what I was
deceased.
looking for.
You do
don't
not have to be deceased.
I got that.
If you're a veteran.
You can have one,
If
Brenda.
anybody just wanted to,
Buy one for somebody else?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
So they can do that.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
my father's
but-
brick is there, yeah.
Yeah.
There's an application in your packet.
But the person has to, that you're putting there has to be a veteran.
Yes.
Correct.
That's what I was looking
Okay.
for the audience.
And this is only for the Veterans Square, the Veterans Memorial section
Right.
of the mall.
Right.
And just so you know, I mean, the entire Museum Avenue has more bricks. If the museum wanted to pick something up like this and do it for their own fundraising, that's there as well. But I believe that there's almost 70,000 bricks that are out there.
Yeah. Huge potential.
Yep.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. There's no further questions. We'll call the roll.
Councilmember Gray?
Yes,
Councilmember Spurlock?
Yes.
Councilmember Sutherland?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes?
Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passed unanimous.
Thank
very
you
much.
so much for both things.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Andy.
Danielle Phillips, come up for the FFA grant agreement for Taxiway F
She
project.
might get another grant. Duke Energy gave it to her.
yeah, I saw that.
Past your bedtime?
Danielle Phillips, City of Avon Park.
Okay.
Okay, first one is for the FAA grant.
What item was this?
We did not get the actual grant
Hey, yeah.
back. The federal government offices were closed from the hurricane until Thursday of last week, so I wasn't able to get the actual grant. It is supposed to be announced by the Office of the Secretary of Transportation this week. I'm looking for the approval, with the effective date for the agreement, the day it's awarded. If that makes sense.
And we
Okay.
don't know the day yet.
It's gonna be this week.
Okay.
I don't know the exact date. As soon as they tell me, then this is gonna give the ability, as soon as it comes in, it's basically approved,
Do you think it'll be here by Friday? Or, I mean, Thursday?
most likely, but I don't know for sure.
So you just want us to accept the,
Yeah, I want
the
you to accept the
application.
grant, based on the application that I provided you,
Okay.
and then when the grant actually comes in.
You insert the blanks.
Yes,
Okay.
essentially. And
Okay.
then once everything is complete, you will get a FYI on the agenda showing you the actual grant.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the Federal Aviation Administration's grant agreement effective on the day it is awarded by the Office of the Secretary of Transportation.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Further questions?
This
See-
is 90% of the entire project for the taxiway
Yeah.
project.
Amen.
Seeing no other questions, we'll call a roll.
Councilmember Gray?
Yes,
Councilmember Spurlock?
Yes.
Councilmember Sutherland?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes?
Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passed unanimous.
Thank you.
Danielle, while you're still there, the other 10%, what's the status of that?
It's
That
coming
is
right
the-
up.
That's the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have Resolution 19-09, if you'll read that into the record there, Jerry.
It's a resolution of the City Council of Avon Park, Florida, providing for adoption of a public transportation grant agreement with the Florida Department of Transportation effective this 9th day of September 2019.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is 10% of the construction phase. It's not the full 10% of the entire project. It's only on the construction phase. So this is only gonna cover us $143,000. All said and done, city's probably looking at about $20,000 to $25,000 total on this whole project, out of pocket.
Out of an almost $1.5 million project.
Almost 1.7.
And FAA won't kick that in, other than the FDOT?
FAA can only participate 90%.
Okay.
DOT was not going to participate on the design and bid process due to deficiencies at the airport, which are being resolved as I speak. But the construction phase, they saw these deficiencies under work, I guess, to be corrected. They offered to participate the full 10% on the construction phase.
The deficiencies were a fence that was repaired already and some trees that were on not airport property on the, across the road. And the county stepped in, I believe. Was it the county or the property owner did it?
It's under a new property owner. The property did sell. Ronnie Jones had spoke to the new property owner and explained to him what was going on. It does fall under the county zoning administration to enforce the restrictions in our airspace, but then they unfortunately,
But they
Fell
started
through.
taking the trees down today.
yeah,
Good.
the owner is taking them down
So
himself.
we can remove the NOTAM very, very soon, probably by the end of the week.
Excellent. All right, is anyone wishing to make a motion on 19-09?
I'll make a motion that we approve item number F9, Resolution 19-09, FDOT grant agreement for Taxway F project. Taxiway.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further questions? Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember Gray?
Yes.
Councilmember Spurlock?
Yes.
Councilmember Sutherland?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes.
Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passed unanimous.
Thank you very
And
much.
Danielle, what's the status of the actual construction at this point?
For the taxiway project,
Mhm.
we're looking around end of the year, beginning of year to start construction. Once this is approved and it goes to DOT and they do their approval process, I can't actually award the construction to the contractor until all agreements are in place.
So when will you go to bid for contractor?
We already did.
Okay.
We already did. I did the
That was-
bid
what was it,
extension.
Cobb?
The-
Who got, no?
No, it wasn't Cobb.
Oh, okay, it was that other firm.
We haven't released it completely because we have not announced the actual.
What am I thinking of then? Am I thinking of the extension lines in terms of construction work? I must be thinking of something else, of some other contractor. Never mind.
Who knows?
I
Never
can't do
mind.
any construction yet until the agreements are approved completely.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Danielle. Next up.
Thank you.
Next up, we have item number 11, task order number 009-19, revision 1, agreement
Ron-
with Polson Engineering.
Yes, Ronnie Jones was prepared to speak on this, but he handed me a note that unfortunately he's had a death in his family. He just had a text on that, so he scribbled me out a note real quick. But this is a task order revising, indicating a $9,600 change. The Polston original agreement with the green tab was $78,000. The revised task order to include the $9,600 to cover the SCADA telemetry and electrical panels, as Polston Engineering are not electrical engineers. They originally were going to rely on pump manufacturers' specifications to design this, but the manufacturers, are not able to handle it. Therefore, Polston had to reach out to an electrical engineer to handle this particular aspect of it. Bailey Engineering proposal describing work to be done for Polston. Now, the note on this is that no city approval had been given as of today. However, the work was done in order to achieve the bid date, the bid opening, etc. We were under a pretty severe time crunch, and the money for this, the $9,600, would come out of the original DEO grant. So what we need is for council to approve the revised task order for Polston Engineering.
Okay.
So we don't, this isn't going to come out of the city's pocket, extra 9,600 is already in, or was already in the project itself?
I can't answer that. I don't think it was actually, I don't know exactly what all was covered by the original, the DEO grant.
So we don't know whether the total was 87,600 or not?
The $78,000 was the original amount that Polston
Okay.
did in the original DEO grant.
Okay,
We're
so
having to
let's-
increase that by $9,600.
All right, so we're out of pocket for that.
Hopefully not.
Okay,
Hopefully the other two grants will cover everything.
okay.
Other questions? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Motion to approve task order number 001-19, revision 1, under the consultant professional engineering design services for US 27 North Water Main and Force Main Utility Services Extension.
Okay. It's,
For the DEO agreement, G0061. I guess that'll make it easier.
correct number was 009-19, or, yeah, 009-19. Okay. Do we have a second?
009.
I got 001.
001-19.
Oh, I'm going off of the headline of the
No, you're looking
packet.
at September 9th, I think. I don't know what you're looking at.
On attachment A, it still says 001-19.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
All right.
I
so
second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember Gray?
Yes.
Councilmember Spurlock?
Yes.
Councilmember Sutherland?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard?
Yes,
Mayor Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passed unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay. Council member discussion, debris management with 3 categories. Councilmember Spurlock.
Yeah, I want to talk to David about this. It's not making this personal, but we were all blessed that the hurricane didn't come through here.
True.
And really blessed that if it had I'm sorry, we would not have been blessed if it had come. We had rubbish on the sidewalks everywhere.
Can you speak in your mic? Because I can't hear you down here.
Microphone.
I don't, you know, I don't. And anyway, I was just concerned, you know, that the piles were everywhere. It don't seem like we can just get the city cleaned up. That's one thing that I want to talk about. And in one area, I mean, can you tell me why they're like that first before I go any further? Why we continually seem like we're just behind with that? Is it going to straighten out now that we got a truck? Or
We've got 2 trucks now. Yes, that'll help out a lot. We didn't have those 2 trucks available to us for that weekend, but the 1 truck we did have was working through the weekend to pick up as much as possible. But what we found during this event was that a lot of people on Friday and Saturday were cutting down their trees and cutting down their limbs and stuff and throwing them out there right then.
Now, I'm not going to say that didn't happen.
It
Because I'm
did.
sure a lot of it did, but
Yeah.
there was a lot that didn't.
Mhm.
But anyway, that's one thing. And as far as why do we have the dumpsters and all that stuff over on DeSoto Avenue? And I know that's a stupid question, but we got the dumpsters over there, and people throw everything around them. They don't put nothing in them. I mean, it looks worse around them than in them. And there's a pile of furniture beside one of those dumpsters, 6 foot high, and at least 15 feet, 20 feet long, not quite 20 feet long. And it's been there forever. So, you know,
Where at on DeSoto?
we just write down it. You won't
Okay.
miss it. I mean, and why are we putting dumpsters? Why don't we put garbage receptacles to every one of the people that are living in those apartments and make them pay for garbage instead of supplying them with a dumpster that they throw it on the side of the road? And I just came by there today. We put a brand new dumpster on the corner. Brand spanking new big dumpster out there for them.
I can't answer that.
Right around, look at it.
I will.
Right around, look at it.
And if they're dumping stuff outside the dumpster, you can make the apartments clean that up.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be something your guys should have to pick up and manually handle.
Take the dumpster up. It's not serving
I mean, if
any
it's all
purpose.
owned by one developer,
Yeah, that's what
then,
I'm
I mean,
saying.
are they allowed to have a dumpster versus a bunch of garbage cans instead of having, 30 garbage cans sitting there? Pachoom, pachoom.
But
That's probably why.
Yeah,
If I was guessing.
typically the
Yeah.
apartment buildings have dumpsters instead of individual.
But they're not
I don't know if
controlling-
that's just a policy that we have, or if that's what that is, or why that is, but that's what it's been in the past. So
I'll find out for you.
look into that.
I'll find out.
And these excessive piles, do we not go out and ring them anymore with red tape and call the people or have them call in and let them know that it's excessive?
That's one of the things that we discussed a few weeks ago in updating our ordinance, and we're not there yet, but we have discussed that.
Well, why don't we get an ordinance on twin, full, queen, and full-size beds and pick that stuff up and take it to the dump, so we'll have a figure and say, you're gonna throw that away. This is what it costs to take it down there. This is what it costs. Because this city's horrible with that.
I agree.
It's horrible.
I agree.
And if you don't
And
put
it
some
happens every
teeth-
season.
I mean, you know, that's one thing, and then I saw that we drove around with a trailer and picked up the receptacles of the recyclables. Why can't, after the foreman gets the men out, not on the first day, but when we start running the garbage and the trash, why couldn't they locate these tires that are at these piles? And why couldn't he just take that trailer and go around? Because it's not a huge tire problem, but it is a problem beside the piles. And just throw them in that trailer till you get a load and then take them to the dump.
You can do that, he can throw it in the back of his pickup truck too.
Whatever, yeah. I'm just thinking that would take care of the tire situation right there. Because they are there. I counted 3 on the way to this meeting tonight. But I tell you, I swear I'd ring those piles and I'd go up and tell the people, say, look, you're being excessive with this. I mean, we try to provide a service, but you're gonna pay $50 for this, or you're gonna pay $25. And the code ought to have that kind of authority to do that. I think the council will give that authority out to clean this town up. But until we do that, we're gonna still be here back over and over and over, and we've talked about this, 3 or 4 times.
That's what they do for the green stuff when there's a whole bunch of it out there. Robert goes out and looks and says, oh, this will be $75.
Sure.
And he tells the guy, and the guy comes to the city hall and pays it, and they go out there and pick it up.
I think that's what we need to do, Dave. I really do.
That's what's been happening. At least that's what's been happening on the south side.
Yes, but we didn't have a uniform fee schedule involved in that. It was guesswork.
Yeah, I know, you still don't.
Right. That's what we're working on. That was, remember we discussed a few weeks ago, eliminating construction and demolition debris.
I got you. I remember that. But what I'm just saying is that's what's happening now. So why can't you do the same thing that Stanley's talking about for the tires and everything else?
We can, but it would involve the ordinance and adopting a fee schedule.
What
He's
are you
not
doing now
it.
with the green
He's not
stuff?
doing it with an ordinance. Robert's not doing it now with an ordinance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's
I
what
don't-
we're trying to correct.
Oh,
Got to make it uniform.
well, City Hall takes the money.
Yeah, it'll be right there 6 months from now.
No, it won't.
Okay.
No problem.
I have one other comment concerning that item, as I've had a few people tell me that they were late bloomers in putting out their recycle bins, and that they put them out there, and the garbage people came by and told them somebody would come by and pick them up, and they say they've been out there for weeks or months and nobody's still picking them up. So do we have we made up our mind to tell people we're not going to pick up recycle bins
No,
anymore?
we're still picking them up. There's a lot of
You know,
stragglers
can't
out
those
there.
people call City Hall themselves?
Yeah, if they would just call us and say,
Well,
can you pick it up over on Delaney
Unfortunately, I've
Avenue?
had one who said he called twice. So, and he says, as of last week, it was still out there.
I can't respond to that.
Okay.
I
Then-
can't fix it if I don't know it's broken.
Maybe we need to get somebody to drive around just to look for stuff like that. I think that would be a good idea.
Anything else on item 12? Item number 13, Personnel Rules and Regulations
That
Manual.
is me. Yeah, I
Maria?
was, the staff had submitted some changes or proposed changes to the employee handbook, but despite the changes not being, these are not proposed. These were already in the employee handbook, and there were some conflicts that I thought needed to be addressed. And specifically, for example, to put it clear, the positions, okay. The city manager and department heads are classified at will. That I put an arrow on section 1.02B. So then when you go take a look at the very bottom little box where it says 1606 admin services employees, those are all at will. And I think that, for example, if you have a budget person that has been here for 11 months and they haven't finished their probationary period of 12 months to be here, but yet they have to be here during budget and they can't take I think it should be okay for them to take a vacation a month ahead of time before their 12-month service, if you follow.
Yeah.
Because that's an essential employee for that particular job. So what I wanted to do was remove the terms of use, the accrual of vacation, because the accrual is already specified in section 1601, where they get so many days or hours of vacation per month. That's already set in the books. But what I'm saying is to eliminate the confusing term of accrual out of 1606 and then just leave it vacation leave for employees covered by section 102, to give the city manager the authority to let someone go on vacation if he so chooses at the 11th month rather than after the 12th month, so that they can follow whatever city projects they're working on. You kind of follow I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
Why wouldn't we just do it at 6 months?
Because I think that the 1 year is what the other employees have. Everybody has a year, and I would rather stay consistent with the year. Because, I mean, you won't know, you've got a probationary period of 6 months, and I personally don't want to have the assumption that I'm going to be here for 6 months and I'm going to go ahead and take a vacation no matter who I am. I think that this would be special for the at-will employees, because they are the ones that run the departments. Otherwise, you're going to have anyone coming on board taking a vacation within 7 months that may not have passed, or they're not essential as a department head is what I'm getting at. To me, this would be a perk for department heads. And that's why I'm sticking to the 102 positions covered of the at-wills, which are the 102B employees. That's what I'm referencing
So
here.
it's currently after 12 months and you want to
Correct.
change it to 11 months.
Well, let it up to him.
Yeah.
Well, of course, but.
Yeah, whether it be 11 months or 10 months, doesn't matter to me. It's,
Well, you
it's-
just said you didn't want 6 months.
Well,
so-
no, 6 months, for the department heads. Were you referencing department heads, or were you referencing the general employees?
Well, I saw the thing in there that said for 6 months, and
Well, that's the next
That's the
page.
next one.
That's the next page regarding
Who does that
promotion.
apply to?
That one is everybody.
So then after 6 months, they could take.
Yeah,
it
but
back.
we're not looking at the second page. That's a totally separate item.
Oh, okay.
But you see how that also conflicts with this,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I was going to remove the probational promotion of 6 months altogether, just be done with it. Because they're already here. Why are they gonna have a probation for 6 months if they're already here?
Isn't that to provide the,
But they're talking about accrued vacation during that time.
Yeah.
Okay, so this says that they cannot go on vacation during their probationary period once they're already here. They could have been here for 15 years, got a promotion, and they can't go on vacation?
oh, I see what you're saying.
So.
Yeah, I mean, you could add language to
Yeah,
that
but then,
effect.
you could, but then you're starting to get really, really tight on it, and.
Somebody could be a streets employee, get over to billing, and then, yeah, I see what
Yeah,
you're
but he's
saying.
been here for 15 years,
Right.
right? So why are we imposing a 6-month probationary vacation on individuals? They're already in a probationary period.
Yeah.
That doesn't go away. But they should be allowed to take a vacation during those probationary months because they're already an established
Has this come
employee.
up before?
No, but I spoke to Mr. Koji about it months ago and he agreed. So, those were just the two different things that I wanted to look at. It's up to you guys to decide because it would require resolution to change into the employee handbook. But going back to the first one, we've already established 1 year of employment that you can't take a vacation for department heads at 1 year of employment. I'm saying let the department heads go ahead and be able to do that if it depends, if their job depends on, being here at a certain time of the year. The regular employees, they already fall under union rules.
Mm-hmm.
The union rules. So this only applies to department heads
Yeah.
on page 1.
Okay.
Does that make sense, David?
Yeah.
All right, and then on page 2, it applies to everybody.
Are you proposing the same for everyone on page 2?
Yes. It's up to his discretion as well. If you've got an employee that's been here, again, even a year,
Yeah.
and they get promoted in a year, we're gonna tell them they can't go on vacation for another 6 months? What if they didn't go the entire first year?
Well, what if
Because they were
it's-
on probation.
What if it's like a completely different type of job and maybe we want them to be there for longer than that? To not be distracted by it going off and things like that?
Well, because right now that is the rule. Our rule is 1 year for everybody.
Yeah.
So I just think,
No, I'm just trying to think of the other side.
I'm
of the
just saying,
coin.
okay, you've got the union employees that fall under the union rules. If something is silent in there, then they can go ahead and apply it to the personnel rules. I'm only focused right now on the page 1 on the at-will employees, which would be your managers, your supervisors, your directors,
Right.
and your city manager.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
Obviously, you say we have to have a resolution for it.
Yeah, and then the second one, like I said, just do away with the 6-month probation, where they can still accrue vacation, yes, but if they want to go on vacation during those 6 months, because they're already been here for a year, there
Yeah.
shouldn't be any reason why they can't go. And that's anybody.
Any objections?
Nope.
No.
We can bring that forward with the next bunch of revisions.
Okay. Anything else on item number?
That's it
Okay.
for me.
Thank you. Going to the city manager's report, the items in red are the changes. Just updating you that Yana said at the last meeting they were going to vacate the premises by 10/11. The church service center has requested me for permission to build a 30 by 30 metal building at the north side of the current office there.
What office?
The Yana office. The long building that's perpendicular to the road. That's where their business office was. And for storage purposes for their food, they want to build an insulated metal building there that would either stay with the property when they leave it, or they would take it with them, because it's a tubular steel building that could be unbolted and they could take it with them.
Isn't this temporary, a temporary fix?
This is a temporary thing, yes.
How long is temporary? I mean, that could be 30 years.
Yeah.
It won't be 30 years.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you guys had talked about, and I remember bringing it up at the last meeting, turning the old Yana property. Is that what we're going to call it from now on, the Yana property?
It's city
Sure.
property. You can call it what you want.
All right, so were you planning on moving the streets department there, or at least having a place and doing away with the ugly little barn that we have up on Central?
That is part of the discussions that we've had, and we wouldn't have to build anything. There's currently bays there. We just have to put some doors on them.
So, of the insurance money that we have, what was it, $280 or something thousand? I've got the money amount in here for the old police building.
The old fire station,
Right. Was it the old fire station?
that was the original fire station.
Okay, so is the church services going to go back in there once that's rehabbed?
No. Their plan, and I don't know how much of this I can disclose, but I can tell you that there is going to be a significant donation made to them based on an inheritance. And at that point, they will actually be buying a piece of property and building their own facility on it. We just don't know when that's going to be. But they are sitting on a significant donation to do that. They have not discussed with us moving back into the old fire station. That could be an option. If we've got some plans for the Yana property, that could be an option for them to do that. But I don't think that they would be actually in this particular facility for probably more than 5 years.
They're wanting to build the facility?
They're wanting to build a metal building, a 30
their
30 by
expense.
30, at their expense.
Okay. Do they take it with them when they go?
They can take it with them, or they can grant it to us.
So in the meantime, though, what about the offices itself? And that's going to be used by them as well for these
Yes.
5 years? So we're
Yes.
not going to move any of our streets department in there?
Not into that office building. If we do storage, there's, on the south part of that office building, there is some bays, there's about 4 or 5 bays there that need sliding doors on them, and we can actually utilize those right now. It's concrete buildings.
So they would pay utilities?
What was our previous agreement with them? Did they pay utilities
I don't
before?
know.
I don't know either.
Couldn't tell you.
Small amount,
Small amount?
yeah.
I think they paid their electric bill. I'm not sure. You'd have to look at that.
Okay.
I mean, but you say 5 years, and then we have a tendency that things last longer. If they have a big lump sum coming to them, I mean, it won't be in probate for 5 years. It'll probably be in probate for 5 months.
If
So they would have to build that, and that shouldn't take but a year, year and a half. So why are they talking 5 years?
they don't have the,
What?
it's not happened yet.
Right?
It's promised.
So there's an opportunity that it won't happen, and then they're going to be inside the Yana building forever.
Well, here's the thing. If we just give them a lease of that office and then we allow them to bring in non-permanent structures, then we can determine how long that lease is. We can do a year-to-year lease.
Well, we have a month-to-month with the Boys and Girls Club.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And we control that at that point.
I just want to see that property remain industrial, because we don't have a lot of that.
I
So-
agree. I agree.
Absolutely.
And I think they provide a valuable service, but this ties into what's going to be done with the 280,000 that was tagged for the old building to begin with. You know, are we going to end up rehabbing that as well, or what? What's that going to end up being used for?
Don't know.
That's another conversation that we have to have, but, I mean, I'd be okay with them in there if they're going to take their stuff with them, but I don't think that I don't want us to be the only source for them, and that the only industrial property that we have in the city. You know, if we do something, I'd like to see it a month to month, and maybe that'll be incentivized to,
That would probably work.
yeah.
If they're wanting to put up a 30 by 30 structure, why could they not put it up behind the old fire station?
Right now, they're working out of a 10 by 20 shed on the back and the 2-car garage over behind the Methodist church. So that the stuff that's in the Methodist Church property is what they're wanting to move to this 30 by 30 insulated building.
Right. Okay. The building's also fixing to undergo, quite a bit of demolition and repair and all, so.
Which one?
The
Well,
firehouse.
The firehouse.
Yeah.
Service center. So.
Are we gonna demo that?
Well, whatever we end up
Interior.
doing,
Yeah.
it's either gonna get demoed or fixed. There's only two options.
Okay, I didn't know
I
that.
can
Okay.
assure you it's probably not gonna stay the way it is. 'cause
No.
So
It's pretty terrible.
you want me to go ahead and start an agreement with them on a month-to-month basis and allow them to build the shed, the 30 by 30 building?
Non-permanent structures,
It is a non-permanent structure. There's no slab involved. It's going right on the concrete pad that's already there,
And they can just disassemble it when they get ready to go.
or grant it to us.
Shoot me an email if you would, please.
I will.
okay.
I will.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, on the
Sounds
Boys and
good.
Girls Club flooding situation, the purchase orders were done for flooring and construction. We've given those contractors the go-ahead, moving down to the DEO grant. I kind of just took a ballpark shot at this past week, since we were under an emergency order, local state of emergency. We contacted DEO to see if there was a possibility that we could get a little bit of breathing room on the September 30th deadline to have construction started. They have given us to October 20th to get that started. So we've got a little bit of wiggle room to finish up the agreements and the easement things and all that. So we were going to make it work, but now we've got just a little bit of room now that we can make this. So she sent us that notice today that they have approved our extension until October 20th to actually start construction.
Okay.
Helpful.
Jerry, let me ask, David, let me ask you one question. As far as the Boys and Girls Club, Martin Luther King Complex, that's not a hurricane shelter, or it is a hurricane shelter?
That is a hurricane shelter when the county designates it to be one. They opened a shelter at the college,
Yeah.
but that was all that they decided to open at that time, and that was basically for people that were evacuating from other areas.
My second question is, was the roof fixed at the Martin Luther King Complex because it leaked?
We had asked about that before.
I
Yeah.
did, and I
Another
still didn't get an
meeting, and
answer.
I don't know, did it leak?
Nobody had a straight answer. Did it leak in the hurricane?
No,
Or the
well, we
winds?
didn't get rain.
It didn't even rain.
Yeah.
During Hurricane Irma, I'm talking, it leaked there.
Irma did, but there was some type of repair made, but nobody here could answer the question of exactly what was
Okay,
done.
can you put that on this list so can get an answer for it next time? Because I asked it at the last meeting we had, and I still didn't get
Probably
it.
the best answer you're gonna get is in a real bad rainstorm, does it leak now? That's probably the best you're gonna get. 'Cause if they couldn't answer it then, I doubt they're gonna be able to find the answer.
Well, we know if we fixed it.
Maybe.
Well,
We should know if we
we've
fixed
had a
it.
lot of heavy rain since then. Dave can tell us if it's raining inside the building or not.
Right.
So we'll
I
find
mean,
out.
the goal is if we have another hurricane, we don't want it to
Yes.
leak again, and then
I-
have
I-
all the people squirm off to one side.
Okay.
That's what happened the last time.
Okay.
You'll need bunk beds in there.
All right, on early voting, we need an agreement for 8:30 to 4:30 for both days, 11:1 and 11:2, or you want to go 10 to 6, or whatever you want to do. Whatever you do, it needs to be consistent for both days. So Penny said that normally it's been 4:30, it's been 8:30 to 4:30 at other locations for other early voting.
And this is Friday and Saturday, right?
This is Friday, Saturday, 11:1 and 11:2.
I like the 6 more, only because people have to get off of work, and they won't get here.
Generally, anybody that's going to work has probably already left by 8:30, so that doesn't really do them a whole lot of good. So the 10 to 6 probably provides more opportunity for the after-work people.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
Okay, so both days will be 10 to 6. Is that the consensus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. You got that? All right. Now, the canvassing board, we need 1 to 2 hours for logic and accuracy test on a date between 10/22 and 10/25 at the supervisor of elections office. I need y'all to pick a date now where the canvassing board can actually go to her office in Sebring for the logistics and accuracy test of the equipment.
Well, canvassing board members, what do you say?
Wait a minute.
That's you too, Stanley.
You can give a date tentatively.
What else you got while they're looking?
Holiday lighting preparations, the banners were ordered. The RPAC stuff, the budget amendment was advertised. It's going to be back to you on 9/23. Hurricane Dorian report. Post-event questions or comments. Were y'all satisfied with the amount of information that I was getting out, both by email to y'all, by our website, and by Facebook? Did y'all have any issues with that whatsoever?
I found it to be adequate.
Okay. Our fire department was there and ready. Did Andy leave?
Yep.
Yeah. We had all 3 shifts there on Labor Day to actually go out and start doing some post-event recon, checking for hazardous conditions and eliminating those hazardous conditions as much as possible. And we turned them loose the following day to avoid paying the extra money, because at that point the storm had shifted enough to where felt like we were out of danger. I want to say, from my perspective, I think this was a very good exercise for us in what to do for an event like that. I believe that we were as prepared as we possibly could have been. I think everybody was taking it very seriously, which they should have. And I just thank God that it didn't come on into the center of the state and hit us, because I think it would have been devastating. Just seeing what it's done in the Bahamas is just awful.
Yeah.
Did we pay employees for Tuesday day off?
Administrative leave, yes. We had agreed to that in the emergency meeting that Friday.
Okay, anything else on the hurricane report?
Okay.
Canvassing board date?
Canvassing board?
I'm for the 22nd, October 22nd. If anybody else can make that date.
Stanley, is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Maria?
That's good.
The 22nd?
time?
I need a time, morning or afternoon?
Well, I think I have a flexible schedule. We'll work around your schedule.
I'm good. It's morning or afternoon, it doesn't matter to me.
I'd rather have afternoon. I like to
Okay.
sleep in.
What time?
Morning or
What time?
How about noon?
22nd canvassing board, you're part of that.
I'll bring the pizza.
Afternoon?
Afternoon?
Yeah. What y'all say, morning?
Morning,
afternoon.
morning or afternoon?
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
It don't matter to me.
That's fine.
Do I hear noon? Do I hear 1 o'clock?
Okay. I heard afternoon a couple of times. 2 o'clock?
That's
Fine.
fine.
Is noon
2
okay?
o'clock.
Or-
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
fine.
noon is fine, 12 o'clock.
No.
2 o'clock.
No, 2 o'clock? I
2
said
o'clock.
noon. You saying 2?
2.
TWO.
Yeah,
Oh.
we don't want to do it during their lunch hour down there.
2 o'clock.
When they asked what time we could.
Okay?
2
Anything
o'clock?
else?
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right.
I like to just.
Anne Marie,
text-
do you have anything else to bring up?
Oh,
2 p.m.
Please. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Anne Marie.
Anna Marie Feeney, 234 East Camper Street, Avon Park, Florida. On Wednesday, September 11th, I will be hosting for our fire department a dinner in honor of 9/11. I moved here in 2008. I was in New York, in the city, on September 11th. I was friends with over 100 of the firefighters who lost their lives, and I miss them every day. So when I moved here, I adopted our firehouse. I hope, and I would like to invite all of you to attend. I'm going to be making glazed ham. I'm going to be making cheese potatoes. I'm going to be making breaded cauliflower. Just something to say thank you to our firefighters and to remember my friends. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very
So,
good.
Jerry, I had spoken to Annie about it, and I know that at the last time that she had a dinner function, that it wasn't publicly noticed, and my concern was that I just didn't feel comfortable going to it because of that. And by her doing it publicly, it kind of opens the door for everyone else to attend. So does that have to be publicly noticed that we're going to possibly attend as a group, council, this, dinner?
If you're not going to speak at all to each other, then there shouldn't be a problem,
But
it
if,
always raises that issue.
so should it be noticed, just in case? I mean, just noticed only because we know not to speak to one another, but should
Yeah,
it be
you can
noticed?
notice it, but it's not going to be a meeting because you're not
Yeah.
talking to each
We,
other.
we can notice it and say that one or more council members may be in attendance.
Right, that's what we want to do.
Okay.
It's a luncheon, a dinner that she's
Anything else to
sponsoring for
bring up for the good of the
fire
city?
Yes.
Hang on just a sec. Can you give the date one more time?
September 11th.
Tomorrow,
Where?
I'll tell you
Wednesday.
September 11th at 4 PM.
Wednesday.
At the firehouse,
At 4 o'clock?
at 4 PM, yes,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yep. Anything else? Anything for the good of the city?
Okay, Thursday, like to, no,
Okay.
not Wednesday,
Thursday's special meeting at 6 PM.
6
Yes.
PM, and we're just going by this new book that was given to us tonight for the budget.
I'm not sure what you're going with. I think,
We're gonna say yes.
yeah.
All right, could we also include a fire assessment in case we go back and look at that as part of the budget?
What do you mean, as an item?
Yeah.
As an agenda item? Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, special meeting is gonna have to be, determine that now.
He said he needed the fire assessment had to be done by Friday if we decided to vote for it or not, so.
Yeah, we can make that as an item as well. Is there any other items while we're here? Because we need to do it now. We can't bring it up at the meeting, being it's a special
Well,
meeting.
As well as the 11-item page to bring with us.
The memorandum, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, just the budget that we discussed and, whatever changes.
Right.
I'd prefer that the budget we have right now that we leave, because I don't want a third one.
Well,
No.
You're not gonna have a third.
I mean, if we're gonna have the second one, and if
Yeah.
there's any changes that are made to it, just have like little addendum sheets that we can just put
Right.
next to it.
And could you send it to us, as soon as you get it
Do
and
you need
not
to
the
be here?
day of? I mean,
We're not changing the budget. We're not giving you another budget.
yeah,
Okay.
but you're going to, that memorandum, he was supposed to give me some prices on that for each item.
We'll do that.
yep, maybe you
Okay.
can highlight them in red, something like
Yes.
that.
Do I need to be here for Thursday?
Special meeting, yeah.
It's up to you.
Do we want them here or not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Maybe.
All right.
so all we're gonna use is the book we got tonight for the budget.
yeah, and then if they can, just do addendums to it on the changes
Okay.
that Ricky
So
was
they don't
making
need to bring
tonight.
the old one or the stuff that was in emails or nothing like that.
No.
I had a bunch of changes on that already.
I know,
Right.
I know.
So we're gonna go over the whole budget page by page, basically again, right?
The second
If we
well,
so
yeah.
choose,
I mean,
yes.
The one that says proposed.
Proposed?
No, the proposed one
No,
was the first one.
That was the first one.
That was the new one.
The newest version that was given to
Oh, the
us today.
recommended-
Oh, it says,
budget?
well, it
That's
says
just-
proposed
This book.
too.
Yeah, that's what I said,
does
the
say
proposed
proposed.
budget.
Yep.
The first one was the recommended
Yes,
budget.
Oh my
you're right,
God.
Brenda.
Okay, so, okay, proposed.
Proposed, she's absolutely correct.
All right, is there anything else for the good of the city?
Got a planning and zoning meeting tomorrow night at 5:30.
Okay, seeing nothing,
Or
I'll
is it
entertain a
6?
motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Seeing no opposition, we are adjourned.
Ay, 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 mamma mia.